Hello everybody, Mike with Spray Jones coming to you with another video on closed and open cell spray foam insulation. Today I really want to get into tearing the cover, this ugly festering bandage, the one you don't want in your own swimming pool when you know you're floating around and ooh, there's a bandage floating on top. That is what the R value argument is. It's that disgusting old bandage that we got to rip off. And the reason being is I cannot think of one single topic that is so deceptive to the American consumer, and yet it is a Federal Trade Commission approved marketing term. And people think they've got this chiseled in stone status that this thing, this R value idea, is going to save them energy and all their problems are going to go away and all their dreams are going to come true. And nothing could be further from the truth. I know this can be a little bit of a dry topic, so we're going to keep it short and to the point and saucy today. So come, let's check out why R value doesn't really actually mean what we think it means. What does it mean? And why is it sort of skewing your buying decisions? If you are building a house, building a building, putting up a commercial rental unit, choosing to do your roof, your walls, your basement, your under slab, stick around and check out two things. I'm going to show you what R value is and isn't from the Federal Trade Commissions. I'm going to decode this really quickly. It's very easy to see. And then secondly, I'm going to give you some proof in the pudding, comments that have been on the YouTube channel for years about people that have chosen to go closed cell, open cell spray foam, got it done, and they are going to tell us how their results are on their building and how it's performing. So stick around to the end. One of the predominant problems that we keep having in construction in North America, Canada, and the US is the end user has had the R value rule chiseled to an in stone status in their mind to the point where they are obsessed with asking, what's the R value? What's the R value? Do you have enough R value? And I want to show you, it's time to reveal this thing more and more for what it is. It is a completely outdated method for evaluating what you are buying. And I'm going to show this to you. Now, this is a Federal Trade Commission website. This is the R value rule. This is a consumer protection advisement, and it states here that the R value rates a product's ability to restrict heat flow and thus reduce energy costs. The higher the R value, the greater the insulating power. I am going to show you right here, right now, how that is not actually very true. It's a great idea in thought, but in function, how this is set up, it doesn't perform. I got the sauce right here. Federal Trade Commission amendment here dated October 29th, 2018. Why do we care about this document? Because of two things that it says here. Update the rules references to ASTM test procedures and advise rule provisions for updating those tests. So they want to update the tests. Now, I wouldn't say that we've got the correct tests yet, but they're recognizing that there's something askew and that they need to update them, right? And add information to fact sheets about the importance of what? Air sealing and proper installation to consumers' energy costs. Whoa. Well, that's interesting because the previous segment said that it's going to show the power of insulating, but now we're seeing that air sealing and installation methods are going to be important to consumers' energy costs. Let's show you the facts of why the tests that are set up are not telling you what you think. Okay, this is where I get sort of salty on this subject because they're trying to protect the homeowner, the end user, the building owner, the end consumer. But how the test is set up and what they're looking to test doesn't end up achieving it. And here's why. Home insulation's two basic categories are mass insulations and reflective insulations. Mass insulations reduce heat transfer by conduction through the insulation's mass. They're trying to put a material in the wall to slow down the convective currents within the wall assembly. That's what the BAT or the mineral fiber or whatever's going in. Insulation is trying to slow down the heat transfer, right? But they recognize right here that convection, or by air movement within and through the air spaces inside the insulation's mass, and radiation. But the two that they are recognizing is mass insulation, so conduction, and they are recognizing radiation through reflective insulations, primary aluminum foil, reduce heat transfer when installed facing an airspace. The issue is that I have with this paragraph here is what happened to convection? What happened to convection? By air movement within and through the airspace inside the insulation's mass. So that's fibers, any and all types of fibers. What's happening within the wall cavity when air is moving? That's the part that we have to take a look at. So as we scroll down to requirements of the rule, we are going to see that we have a huge problem. Mass insulation products may be tested under any of the test methods of the R value specifies, but here's what I want you to see. Right here, this line. It is tested under steady state, static conditions. So no air movement. And steady state means measurable loss from one side to the next. So think of it as a baseball game. The bases are loaded and you walk somebody home. When you walk somebody home, that's steady state. For every batter going up to first base, one's coming home to home plate because you're at a full load. So this is the same. You've got a measurable amount at the top and a measurable amount at the bottom. And for every BTU at the top, one's leaving out the bottom, steady state. But it's done in a static condition. So no air movement, and they're keeping it in a position where the convective loop within it is minimized. Then it says here, the tests must be conducted at a mean temperature of 75 Fahrenheit. 75 Fahrenheit really skews off the results because you're not testing it in a condition that you truly need insulation for. So these are some of the major factors that line up a confusion of what you're buying. All right, we're going to cut off right there. The technical side, I've just proven to you that the test is flawed. They are having to change it. Why? It's not tested at real world temperatures. It's not taking into account air movement, even though they're saying air movement and how the insulation is installed is going to have a huge impact on your comfort levels and performance. So let's go to anecdotal. This is what the sauce is all about. What do you want? What is it going to do for you? Here, this is an old video. This is single greatest intel drop. This is the American Chemistry Council before it was Spray Foam Coalition. They did the RDH Building Sciences non-vented roof detail video, and somebody commented, love these videos, just finished spraying. New build in Arkansas, and nobody wanted to spray my roof deck, but your videos convinced me it was right. Now, here's the kicker. 4,000 square feet, they're heating 75 degrees to 75 degrees with 8,000 watt portable air conditioner when it was over 90 outside. Now, if R value is R value, why are we getting these kinds of amazing results with whatever the guy has put for spray foam in his house? He's not spraying to R100 or R60 or R50. A little goes a long ways. We're buying whiskey here. We're not buying pints. Let's take a look at something else. Here's one on the flash and bat. Still lots of discussion going on about flash and bat. This comment's old, even though I snapshotted it a while ago. Believe homes in climate zones such as Saskatchewan should have closed cell spray foam. I agree. That's in Canada. Just had my home sprayed with 4 to 5 inches in the walls and ceiling. Performance of the foam in extreme climates is incomparable to mineral wool and fiberglass. Do not get sucked into this foam-free future talk. Mineral wool and fiberglass do not perform the same way. You are not dollar to dollar buying the same performance. The only time I'll ever install fiberglass or mineral wool is in interior walls. So there, he doesn't even want it for exterior walls, unless the customer absolutely insists. Bigger cost up front pays you back tremendously in terms of comfort and energy savings. Folks, if it didn't, we wouldn't have an industry. R value to R value is not the same. Buying an R20 bat is not the same as buying R20 spray foam. It's not even comparable. That's why we need to get rid of this outrageous comparison number. And in time, we are going to do so. Tired of winning yet? Here's another one. 100-year-old home. Don't tell me that closed cell spray foam is not proper to be used. I know there's videos out there. They're getting a lot of views. I've stayed silent on some of them. There are people are saying no spray foam, foam-free future, all of this kind of jargon. I'll address it in time, but honest to goodness, 100-year-old homes absolutely should be sprayed with closed cell spray foam when the proper issues have been addressed to verify the building envelope in beginning. We don't want to repeat problems where there's water ingress and then you're just using it to stop water. But here, Prog Rocker 70 is telling us that he had 2x6 rafters, unvented eaves, fiberglass wouldn't work without losing headroom. Correct. Your channel is what allowed me to do foam. So after 3 estimates, I found a highly recommended contractor, had the attic sprayed, closed cell foam. No cold or drafts, no lingering smells. Well, that's how it's supposed to be, folks. Don't tell me that foam is going to off gas. That's a poor word, poor explanation into the interior spaces. When it's sprayed correctly, there's absolutely zero problem. It was 0 Fahrenheit here, and it stayed just under 60 Fahrenheit with no heat. Well, I'm happy. I still, in my mind, keep questioning if I did the right thing. Well, it's performing, it's working. I've addressed that. But folks, here we go. Another one where the foam is working and it takes very, very little. What could you possibly be getting inside a 2x6 rafter? I bet you got 3 inches. Here's a fellow Canuck. He watches the channels all the time. Calgary is still Canada. Love the video. Attic rain in my old place was the final nail in the coffin. So do you know how many times that we have people that have condensation issues all the time? Extreme cold, then it warms up. The air leakage going into the attic, frosts the attic up, the airspace that's between the insulation and the roof deck, frosts it up, and then when it goes rapidly back to warm, that melts. It doesn't have a chance to evaporate and get out of the building, and then it, where of course rains, literally it can condenses, melts. And we call it raining back down to the attic. So he had enough of that. And in his situation, planned to spend $100K. You got to pay to play and get the best. My wife says this home is so comfortable compared to our old place. Recently, we had minus 28 degrees. He's talking Celsius, right? You might as well just replace it with Fahrenheit, minus 28 Fahrenheit. Consistent for a few weeks. Today, it was plus 10 here in Calgary. And you know what? The attic rain is in the news again, but not problems for me, right? So he loves how it expands into every nook and cranny, and that nothing else will ever do that can seal things so solid. Again, foam-free future is a complete farce. You need expanding foams in order to get into cracks and crevices. Try sealing things with peel and stick membrane all the time onto irregular surfaces. You're going to have failures. Maybe not right away. They're going to show up at some point. This is just showing you a little bit of people that are made decisions to go spray foam in their builds, and they are far from regretting it. Save the best for last. They're all good, but this one's really good. God Bless Texas video talking about R20 non-vented, unvented attic in Texas come September 1, 2025 is going to be viewed as complete code compliance, and joining other states in the U.S. and Canada, we're going to get the same thing. Love this comment. Thank you, sir. Your content pushed me over the edge for foam. I built a 4,000 square foot house in climate zone 4. Got my first electric bill 2 months ago. It was 1/3 the amount of my 2,800 square foot house for the same month. Love the comfort level and consistency of temperature in the house. Well, of course. Yes. Of course. We are not selling something that does not work and isn't worth the value. All right. There's a lot of bad press and a lot of bad news out there, but we're going to dispel that. You're going to see a dramatic shift in content coming from us as we're going to educate. These are all people that have been in the same situation as you. Do I do foam? Do I believe the rhetoric? Do I believe the negative comments? No. Go in, get a good contractor, good product, get it installed properly with the right building science, and beat this whole comfort, attic rain, condensation issue, kick it right back into the Stone Age. So lay out a comment. I'm going to keep exposing R-value. If the R-value game was the same for foam as it is for bats, none of these comments would be possible. An R20 in spray foam would not perform the same as an R20 in glass if it was 1-to-1, if it was all the same. I'm telling you, the test is flawed. When they test the fibrous products, it gets an absolute perfect laboratory result that is not real world. We are real world. Tight, intimate contact with the substrate, no air going through the insulation, no air going around it, custom fit into oddball shapes and sizes, control air, control moisture, control your problems, right? Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the rhetoric. Believe the facts, okay? Lay out a comment, share, like, subscribe. Catch you on the next video soon.